What's up everybody, this is Master Ian Gamer, and we just got a bunch more information regarding the upcoming Overwatch 2 hero Kiriko, including her official animated origin story, a dev update talking about her various abilities, character backstory, and various details, and an Overwatch blog post going even more in depth and featuring some very exciting concept artwork. So first up, I just want to real quickly talk about the origin story. The story in and of itself has its own sort of unique animation style going on, clearly inspired by old Japanese watercolor type artwork. It looks very cool and basically just outlines Kiriko's origins and the ties it has between the more traditional Shrine Maiden elements of her character inspiration, as well as the more ninja fighty type inspirations. And overall, it's just a solid origin story. Definitely go check it out if you haven't already. But one quick little scene from this origin story, which I think is absolutely worth giving special attention, is this shot right here at the end, where not only do we get a look at Kiriko herself, but also a handful of other characters who are all part of the yokai gang who occupies Kanezaka. Now we know that Kiriko is in fact the leader of this yokai gang, and I'm just gonna say it, some of these other characters we see here as part of this group look pretty cool. Particularly I like the raccoon, or probably a tanuki character on the left. Something about that character's design, I don't know, just looks really goofy and sort of fun. And then we also have what looks like some sort of omnic kappa on the right. A lot of cool designs here, definitely all based on actual yokai, so hopefully we do end up seeing a bit more of these characters in the future at some point. Maybe some of them will even become heroes at some point, but I don't know. We already have 3 Japanese heroes. I wouldn't put too much money on it, but it is just exciting to get to see a bit more of this specific faction, which is a relative newcomer to the Overwatch universe. Moving on though to the Overwatch blog post regarding Kiriko, this gives us more insight and details regarding her various kit and abilities. So as usual, I'm just going to go ahead and read through this article here in this video, and then give some of my personal thoughts as I work through it. So diving right on in, let the Kitsune guide you, our first look at Kiriko's concept and playstyle. She's been on all our minds since we teased her in the June reveal event, and now she's here. Kiriko Komori is staged to join the support roster as Overwatch's 35th hero, and we're excited to share more about her personality, toolkit, and gameplay. Drawing on her Maiko and Kunoichi training, Kiriko supports her team through gentle healing, deadly precision, and fluid mobility. The early idea for her kit was to create a dual damage support hero with strong mobility and a high skill ceiling. Kiriko can be rewarding for high skill players, while also being a great healing option for beginner players. She was created by narrative and hero design mostly in tandem, since Kiriko's concept art was originally drafted for a PvE enemy from the ninja ecology. Her concept art inspired the direction of both her gameplay and narrative, and we're happy that her big personality shines through her playstyle. We then get some phenomenal concept artwork of Kiriko, showing off these different early iterations of her. The one on the far right I think is particularly familiar, since I'm fairly certain that's the specific silhouette that one Game Informer journalist was shown 3 years ago at this point. I'm sure you all remember the article I'm talking about. It's the one where we got that early tease of a number of different upcoming heroes, one of which was of course the short-haired girl with a giant shuriken type weapon and a fox companion. And even though Kiriko's final design doesn't have the giant shuriken we originally saw in the concept artwork here, it is cool that we're now at least getting to see this original concept artwork with the giant shuriken, along with a few other ideas as well. I find it particularly interesting that basically all of the ones they show here on the left feature Kiriko with some sort of big staff that have these sort of healing spirit orbs rotating around it. It's just interesting to note that apparently this staff was going to be a major part of her kit, only for her design to be changed in the final version, such that she just has the final kunai and doesn't actually have any sort of staff like this. Well, at least not in part of her kit. I guess it's possible it'll show up in highlight intros and emotes and things like that, but I always just find this sort of stuff really interesting, just so you can sort of see the process of the developers actually developing the hero and seeing some of these alternate iterations that the character went through prior to their final form. Anyways, getting back to the article itself, to hear more about the process of bringing Kiriko from concept to launch, we talked to 3 designers who worked on her: hero designer Josh No, the narrative designers Justin Groot, and Kyung-So Min. Healing Ofuda, Kunai, and Wall Climb. Kiriko's primary fire, Healing Ofuda, are talisman that heal her teammates. She fires up to 10 healing projectiles depending on how long the primary fire key is held. Healing Ofuda is a single target heal with blue talismans that home in on her allies and turn yellow when they heal. The charms are breezy and slow, so the further you are from your teammates, the longer it'll take to heal them. The visual and sound effects associated with Kiriko's primary heal draw on themes from nature, and we tried to match this to her lines. So you'll hear Kiriko say things like, "The breeze brings relief," or "like a gentle rain," when she heals allies. Her breezy, tranquil primary fire is a stark contrast to the tempo of her next ability, Kunai. Kiriko's secondary fire, Kunai, are small leaf-shaped knives that she throws one at a time. The knives have low overall damage but do additional critical damage, and Kiriko isn't afraid to taunt enemies who get caught in her kunai's path. Kiriko is a mischievous person, and she'll sometimes tease the enemies she eliminates. She'll say things like, "I thought you were the sniper," when she lands a kill on Widowmaker or Ana. Kiriko's passive ability, Wall Climb, allows her to scale up walls. We decided on Wall Climb because Kiriko went through the same training as Hanzo and Genji, so it makes sense that they would share some of the same background. And, like each of the Shimadas, Kiriko also has special mobility skills specific to her. Swift Step. Swift Step allows Kiriko to teleport directly to an ally within a certain distance, even through walls. When you activate the ability, you need to have a target before you can confirm the movement. Confirming an ally will let you go directly to them. Seeing your teammates die behind walls can be frustrating. You see your team's health bar ticking down through walls, but you can't quite get a line of sight on them. With this ability, not even walls will prevent Kiriko from covering a generous amount of space to help her teammates. She loves to kid around with her teammates, so you can expect some witty interactions with her teleport. Although she's a fierce hero, Kiriko loves to play. She'll give Cassidy a howdy when she jumps to him, and she tells Mercy, "I'll be your angel," when Kiriko jumps to her. Swift stepping at the right time, though, is key to utilizing the ability effectively. You want to be careful about traveling to injured teammates, because something's probably going on over there if their health bar is in the red. Once you teleport into the line of fire, you won't be able to swift step back out until the ability is ready again. This might sound dangerous, but like every good fox, Kiriko is full of tricks. When fights take a turn for the worse, she has another ability up her sleeve. Protection Suzu. Protection Suzu is a small bell-shaped projectile that makes allies briefly invulnerable and cleanses negative status effects when it impacts the ground or an ally directly. The ability affects all allies within a small area of effect, including Kiriko if she throws it at her feet. We wanted to make Protection Suzu an active ability that Kiriko could use to defend and engage with her team. We want to enable players to use this ability actively instead of holding onto it as a response to other abilities. During the Overwatch 2 beta, this sort of ability hoarding was something the team saw after Moira's updates were implemented. When we changed Moira's damage orb to necrotic orb, players held onto the ability for long periods of time. The brief immortality, paired with a cleanse, provides Kiriko with a chance to save teammates from negative status effects and death blows. Protection Suzu is the source of a lot of Kiriko's utility, but it's come a long way since we first started ideating on it. The first idea for this ability was a smoke bomb inspired by her ninja training. However, early playtests led to some interesting observations. We tried a vision occlusion that blocked enemies' sight, but the game would become one giant smoke cloud with a Kiriko on both teams. Teams also began to develop interesting playstyles around the ability. Instead of using the smoke bomb as a tool to disengage, teams would throw it ahead of them and use the visual cover to pop up in front of the enemy team. Ultimately, the final version of Protection Suzu fits with Kiriko's narrative while also serving an important function not currently present in-game. Although strong, this ability does come with a cooldown that requires diligent judgment and timing. Enemies will watch for this ability prior to using ultimates and initiating fights. So real quick, I just want to mention I love that they apparently experimented with giving her an actual smoke bomb ability, since that sort of vision obscuring mechanic is something which people have speculated for a very long time when it comes to upcoming new new hero abilities, so it's just fun to know that this is apparently something Blizzard has experimented with before and was at one point going to be part of Kiriko's kit, but ultimately they ended up going in a different direction. I'm curious to see if we ever do see a smoke bomb in the future though, because I think there could potentially be some potential there. Moving on to her ultimate, Kitsune Rush. Kitsune Rush is Kiriko's ultimate ability. She opens her ultimate by saying, "Let the Kitsune guide you," and she summons a fox that rushes forward, creating a glowing path for her team in its wake. This path gives Kiriko and her allies a buff that increases the speed of all allies' actions, including movement speed, rate of fire, and cooldowns. Kitsune's path is marked by gateways, and allies need to be within the gateways to get the buff. Stepping out of the path will remove the ultimate's buffs. The fox is central to Kiriko's design, and her ultimate felt like a natural place for the fox to come out. Kiriko works alongside her fox, similarly to how Genji and Hanzo work alongside their dragons. Kiriko is a natural leader, and her ultimate ability reflects this. Kitsune Rush is a linear path that encourages teammates to move forward into a fight or objective. Kiriko can direct her teammates with this ultimate, making space for them to engage in specific fights or capture specific areas of a map. Some of the old, some of the new. She's cunning, agile, and a bit of a trickster. Although lighthearted, she's a powerful protector with a strong moral compass and believes in taking care of the people around her. Our goal with her story was to celebrate powerful women on our roster. Kiriko is a strong human with strong values and convictions. I definitely put my kick-ass woman pants on to write her. Kiriko respects traditions to honor her grandmother, who gave her last name to hide and protect her, but she recognizes the need to change, adapt, and progress, just like her mother. As Kiriko would say, you can't change the world by following all the rules. So there you go, a nice look into the development of Kiriko as a hero, and a bit of insight into her various abilities, not only on the gameplay and mechanics front, but also the narrative front where we learn a bit more about her backstory and how it all ties together. Overall, I have to say I am very excited to get to play Kiriko at long last. We only have a couple weeks left until Overwatch 2 launches, and I for one am super duper excited to get to see how this hero actually ends up functioning in-game. Certainly some elements of her kit seem particularly strong, but we will of course have to wait and see how she actually plays before we can make any grand sweeping judgments. So on that note, let me know your thoughts on everything new we learned here today through this blog post and origin story by dropping a comment down below. Are you excited to get to play Kiriko? Are you a fan of her character design and backstory? Let me know, and otherwise be sure to subscribe, follow me on Twitter, hit up that bell icon, and come join my Discord server to hang out and never miss any of my future Overwatch content. And special thanks to my YouTube channel members who help make these videos possible. If you'd like to join them to earn some cool rewards, then just hit that join button down below. And otherwise, this is Master Ian Gamer signing off, and until next time, have a great day.